Good morning, everybody. My name is Nguyễn, Ngọc. I am from class 96 from Primary Secondary School, and my topic today is society. Well, as you know, school is a very important place. It's undeniable how important school is, not only to a society, but also to students. It's a place where students can receive compassion, teachings, and love, and what they consider to be their second homes. But nowadays, it seems to be that this second home has been invaded and polluted by social evils, notably drugs and alcoholic drinks. And this is a very serious problem which could lead to terrible consequences, as alcohol and drugs can not only affect the student's mental and physical health, but it can also ruin that student's life as a whole. However, in my opinion, it is very important to know that the students themselves is not to be blamed. I think that the root of this problem lies not in the students, but what surrounds the students. And to make my point clear, for example, students can be tempted to use drugs because of some of the very attractive and alluring features, such as it could make you feel good, or make you concentrated for a longer period of time, or it could help you stay up for longer. And also, some students receive bad parenting, whether it is domestic violence, domestic abuse, or in the case of a rich family, because they were given everything that they wanted, they become spoiled, and inevitably they fall into addiction and alcoholism. And another major fact is that some students are just lonely. They don't have friends, they don't have good friends, and they become anxious, depressed, some even develop autism, and when that occurs, they become vulnerable to lies and temptation. And when those lies and temptation do occur, they fall easily for it. And it is very sad. So what can we do? What can we do to stop this? What can we do to prevent any more students to be affected by drugs and alcohol? Well, first and foremost, it's extremely important to know that we should not use any violence. When students commit most of these bad social evils, we should not put them in jail. We should not put them to rehab. We should not put them to detention camp. And we shouldn't call them by names, like we shouldn't call them delinquents or bad behaved people or dumb, because all they are young. They're young, they're naive, and they are immature. They don't know what's wrong and what is correct. So what I'm trying to say is we need to approach this problem with compassion and understanding. Reach out to them, talk to them, make them realize the bad side of alcohol and drugs. Encourage them to change, encourage them to be a better person for society. And because all these students' needs are family, friends, some people that's willing to help them to overcome all of their problems. They don't need rehabs, they don't need detention camps, they don't need punishments or violence. And when we approach this very serious problem with love and compassion, only then will it be able to end. Thank you for listening.
Question. I disagree. I think youngsters do realise what they're doing, especially when you're 13, 14. They are aware of right and wrong, and therefore, if they're taking drugs or if they're taking alcohol, or they're drinking alcohol, they should be punished. What do you think? I know you disagree.
Well, if all we do is punish them, they won't become better people. They won't. Some of them won't realize that what they did was wrong, because
But they already know what nobody know what they're doing is wrong. So what I'm suggesting is punishment and education together.
Yes, I do think that's a good idea.
Punishment sends out a message. It sends out a message, if I do this, it's going to hurt me physically.
I agree with you.
Yes, I have a question for you. Yes, talking about society, we are talking about the role of the woman, women. Okay. Yes, in the past, the role of the women was very different from nowadays. Yes, think about your family and think about your mother and grandmother, and you can do that comparison between the role of women in the past and the role of women nowadays.
Can you please repeat the questions?
Repeat.
Yes.
Repeat.
Yes.
Yes. Talk about the difference between the role of the women in the past and the role of women nowadays. Yes.
So in the past, we always had a patriarch sort of society where the males is the one who is the pillars of the family and the one who is always go do the jobs, bringing the income to the family. And the woman from the past is always the one who have to stay at home, do chores, take care of children, and cook. But nowadays, as society has developed, the roles between men and women have more or less become equal, where women nowadays can also take the part as the pillar of the family and becomes the main income for the family, and the men who before never have any jobs at home now can take care of the children or even cooks and do the housework. And I think it is a very good change because it allows both men and women to do what they want and not to be restricted by the social norms.
Okay. Yes, and I can see that now we get a lot of food at home and in society, so that put pressure on women. Yes, so what should we do to help them?
For example, in a marriage, that burden can be reduced with the help of the husband. Both the husband and the wife can share the work. Probably when the wife goes to work, the husband can take care of the children, and vice versa. And if the work inside a family is shared together, both the wife and husband won't have as much of a heavy burden on their back.
Okay, and a student, what can you do you yourself? Yeah.
Oh yes, I do help out both my mom and my grandmother at home. I usually clean my room and I hang up the clothes, and sometimes I cook.
Oh, just only the housework. What about her spirit, mental?
For her mental health, I usually talk to them or sometimes even hang out with them. For example, I usually play badminton with my grandmother, and she's the one who introduced the sport to me.
Yes, that's good.